After you've submitted your appeal, you'll need to wait to receive a notice from Dieter. It can take anywhere from a week or two or several months to receive a hearing notice. When you do receive it, the notice will include the date and time of the hearing, the name of the referee who will hear your case, and other pertinent information. Your hearing may be conducted in person or via telephone. If for some reason you can't attend the hearing at the date and time it's scheduled, then you can request a continuance that postpones the hearing to a later date by contacting the appeals office. They won't continue the hearing unless they think you have a really good reason. I had a client once who was going to be on a honeymoon during the hearing, and they agreed to continue the hearing for that. They might also continue it if you say you want an attorney and need more time to find one. For other reasons, you can always make a request and see what they say, but if they won't continue it, then you'll need to do everything you can to show up at the hearing, or you could lose your opportunity to present your case. With your hearing notice, you should also receive what Dieter calls an appeals packet. This packet will include the documents that will be used at the hearing as evidence. As you look through the packet, make sure that any documents you submitted with your appeal letter are included. Otherwise, you'll need to submit those again. Before the hearing, you'll want to become very familiar with the documents in the appeals packet so you're prepared to use the documents that support your case. And so you're also prepared to explain any documents that might appear to hurt your case. The hearing notice also mentions that if you want to have any additional evidence considered, then you need to send it to the referee and to the employer at the address listed on the notice. You need to submit additional evidence in time for everyone to receive it before the hearing. Otherwise, the referee might refuse to consider it, or possibly delay the hearing to a later date so the employer has time to review it. You can mail, fax, or email additional evidence. Whichever method you use, I recommend verifying it was received prior to your hearing by calling or emailing the appeals office using the contact information on the hearing notice. I also recommend submitting the evidence to Dieter and mailing it to the employer 3 business days before the hearing at the latest, but earlier would be better to avoid it being late. Remember that if the employer wants to submit more evidence, then it also needs to follow this process, so you should receive those documents from the employer before the hearing. In another section, we'll discuss what to do if the employer tries to use evidence it did not send to you in advance. As for witnesses, technically, I don't think you have to send a list of any witnesses you might have in advance of the hearing, but it might be a good idea to list them if you submit additional evidence. The hearing notice also says you need to provide your telephone number for the hearing to the appeals office at least 48 hours before the hearing using their contact information. This would also be a good time to confirm they received any additional evidence you submitted. What about preparing for your presentation at the hearing? If you choose not to have an attorney, then other than being familiar with all the documents, you'll need to decide what points to focus on to support your claim for benefits and prepare a closing statement, which we'll discuss in depth later. If you really want to be prepared, then you could consider asking a family member or friend to do a mock hearing by asking you questions about why Dieter's decision is wrong and why you should be eligible for benefits. Practicing in this way can help you feel more confident at the hearing.